Welcome to another edition of Chris Speaks. I'm your host, Chris Thompson. Tonight's show, we're going to talk about the whole, for those of you that don't really know about the whole Gaza thing, the whole Israel-Palestine thing, we're going to talk about it a little bit. We're going to discuss, so what is it all about? And is it about being pro-Palestinian or being pro-Israel? And is being against Israel committing genocide, or even saying that Israel committed genocide, even though it's the UN has said it has, and it's committed crimes against humanity. Well, what does all that mean? And does it mean that you're anti-Semitic if you don't support Israel? Okay, so let's go there. Remember, I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. So, okay. When it comes to opposing or supporting the genocide in Gaza, it's not about Israel or Palestine. It's not a Israeli or Palestine thing. It's a life thing. It's an international law thing. So what does that mean? It's about these protests, which aren't anti-Semitic, because it's kind of weird that, especially at the college protests, were bankrolled by a Jewish family, a wealthy Jewish family, and I think it was Jewish Voice for Peace that was the ones that organized some of these, at least the very first of these student protests at the universities. So that in itself, it's like, how can that be anti-Semitic? So that's what we're going to get more into here. Okay, so this is not about Jews or Muslims. This is about a radical form of Zionism. And Zionism was this, it came out in the mid to late 1800s, was this philosophy, and it came about because the way before Hitler, the Jews were being mistreated by the people in Europe. So there came this philosophy, actually several philosophies, with the centerpiece being that there'd be somewhere where they'd have a home for the Jews, where the Jews would be safe. But there were different versions. There were versions that were for, okay, we go there, we have a homeland, but we don't kill the people and take their land. We live harmoniously with them. But that's not what ended up taking over. It was a very radical form of Zionism, and Israel's military actually started as a terrorist group known as the Irgun, and they did a lot of terrorist attacks, not just on the Palestinians, but on the British, who they were trying to drive out, so they could have, because the British were in control at this time. So, so that's what was going on there. So they started as this terrorist group, and there used to be, I already said this, there used to be several forms of Zionism, okay. And it was this far-right radical Zionism that won out. This radical form of Zionism saw the Palestinians, saw Palestine as the land of the Jews and only the Jews. And we know that a few years ago, Israel actually made a law that said that, the Israel nation-state law. The people that adhere to this radical Zionism refuse to share the land with the Palestinians and regard them as less than human, and they are simply an obstacle to the land they want to be theirs. And they're just an obstacle to overcome. So this is part of the thing, is that And remember, if you know anything about it, when they were trying to get the Jewish people to go to Israel, which was Palestine at the time, they said there was this thing going around. It's a land without a people for a people without a land, but there were people already there. Now, were they saying there weren't people there, or were they saying that Palestinians weren't a people, that they didn't see them as a people? Okay, so this is what this is about. This is about our nation here in the United States. It's our nation, our government, that's giving weapons to a nation that intentionally targets civilians, and the United Nations is the ones that are saying this. A nation that the UN concluded had committed war crimes and crimes against humanity. A nation that has been accused of using starvation as a weapon. That's more of them. It is not anti-Semitic to call out Israel for committing war crimes. It is not anti-Semitic to expect Israel to follow the rule of international law. It is not anti-Semitic to stand up for Palestinians. Okay, so that's all I got written there, so I'll go freeform on it like I usually do. So, this is the thing. If anything, the right thing is always to do is to stand up for disenfranchised people, for people who are abused, for people who are occupied. And this is an occupation. They decided that they wanted the land and all of it, and they were going to take it. Because if you know about anything, so the UN decided to break up or maybe it was the League of Nations before them, I don't know. So they decided to split it up, right? Tally up the land. So they gave most of it to the Jewish people that were there, that were going, well, I think they had already declared them as a country without asking the Palestinians, without asking any of it. So there was this partition, and they gave most of the land to the Jewish people, and all of the good land to the Jewish people. And when so they said no, and they started revolting. They did a lot of so there was some a bit of violent uprisings, because this is what they had seen from the beginning, is that their land was being stolen from them. And so the Israelis start killing these people who are protesting, who are doing violent protests, uprising, and there's killing on both sides. But basically, Israel is overpowering everyone because they don't have they have old ass rifles, and Israel has all this technology, and this is weapons that have been provided by America even back then. And so the Arab nations that come together and try to fight Israel to help the people, but they have old weapons. Israel has new technology, and they're just overwhelmed. So, okay, so they defeat them, and then Israel decides that no, 51% of the land, or 52%, whatever it is, isn't enough. And they pretty much take over everything except the West Bank, which got annexed by Jordan, which that wasn't right, because that was already, both of that was against the law, and Israel took the Gaza Strip, and it was under their control. And then eventually it ends up where it's back where, well, eventually Israel gets the West Bank too. So it goes back to all this, and like Israel just never stopped trying to take the land, and the people never stopped doing uprisings. They never stopped fighting back. And sure, it ended up with these terrorist groups that did fucked up things in order to fight back, because you gotta realize that, okay, we see in the news every few years, every 5, 10, 15 years, about stuff that going when they're doing big incursions like this. But they never really talk about what's going on in the West Bank, and they never talk about how they're always going into Gaza. You know, they go in it more often than you think. They go in every couple of years, because as Netanyahu and the other radical far-right jerk-offs that are running the government, they go in there to mow the grass. I think I've mentioned this before. Mow the grass. Like they're nothing. They're not even human. They're not even animals. They're grass to be mowed. That means cutting down their population to make sure they don't reproduce to the point of where the Jews become a minority in the area again. So they do this, and it's not like this is just happens every once in a while. This is ongoing constantly. They're constantly brutalizing the people in the Gaza Strip. They're constantly taking over land in the West Bank. The settlers in the West Bank are constantly killing the Palestinians that live in the West Bank, and not only is it allowed by the government and the military, it's actually encouraged. So why do you think fucking people start doing horrible terrorist shit? You're murdering them in Gaza, you're murdering them in the West Bank. You let these foreign people come over, a lot of them from New York, a lot of them from the United States, to come over and help you kill the leftover Palestinian people. And they just freaking approved another land grab where they're going to build more settlements, and these settlements are illegal by international law. So they're blatantly disregarding the law. They're constantly killing Palestinians everywhere, and then when the people they have to fight back, these militants fight back, and yes, they often kill innocent people too, then it's okay, we're going to go in there and drop more bombs on innocent people. And it's like, oh, the immediately, when October 7th was done, immediately Netanyahu said, oh, we're going to increase the settlements that we have. Well, that's a big chunk of why the militants, Hamas and some of the other people, are doing that, because you're killing them, stealing their land. You go every so many years and drop bombs on them to mow the grass and make sure they don't reproduce. How is this working for you, Israel? I mean, the more you do shit like this, the more they're gonna want to kill you. If you kill people, go in there, and instead of going after the people that you're supposed to be going after, like Hamas, you go and murder. In one family, there was 50 members of a family that were freaking killed. Or was it more than that? It was a lot. It was like 50 members of an entire family that were killed. If you were part of that family, would you be saying, we should have peace with Israel? Or would you want to freaking go blow somebody's head off? I mean, it doesn't make it right, but in that situation, this is what they're creating. They're acting like it's security, it's self-defense, but you're doing it wrong. You're not doing self-defense, you're making more people want to kill you. And this is the thing. If you would just give them their own country, and a bunch of nations come together and make sure this happens, and not some weird watered down demilitarized crap. No, give them all the rights that you say Israel should have: the right to exist, the right to defend themselves, the right to self-determination. And watch how, sure, it'll still take a while, there will still be some issues going on, because it's going to be hard. It'll probably take a few generations for people to not hate you. But look, if you actually treat people well and you don't kill them and take their land, guess what? They won't want to kill you back. It's that simple. And this whole thing of, it's like, I don't know. I mean, it shouldn't be pro-Israel or pro-Palestinian. It should be, like the Christians like to use pro-life. Well, let's be actually pro-life and be for life and not killing lives, not dropping bombs on toddlers and all this stuff that goes on. I mean, it's that simple. You treat them well, you let them have the land. All they're asking for is pre-1967 borders. All they're asking for is all of the West Bank without settlers. You can move the settlers back into the other parts of Israel. There's plenty of land, and let them have Gaza, and you let them have self-determination, and you let them be able to defend themselves, and we make sure we put in people that aren't going to be militants, and there's obviously going to be a period where there's going to be somebody that's going to have to make sure that things are going okay. But this can happen. I mean, at this point, like, probably the best thing would be a one-state solution where everyone is treated equally and everybody has a say in the government and stuff. But at this point, with all the stuff that both sides have done, that's not really feasible. So the best thing is a two-state solution, and you got to let these people govern themselves. I mean, this is just common knowledge that the less you kill people, the less they'll want to kill you back. The more self-determination you give them, the more they'll feel good about themselves and not blame you for everything. And Israel does a lot of bad stuff, but so do some of the people on the other side. I'm not talking about the civilians. I'm talking about, and we're talking about military on both sides. Like a lot of, because Hamas has only been around since '86, and there's other groups that have gone before them, but neither side are saints, man. So like Hamas and some of the PLO and some of the other groups that had been before, they've done bad stuff. So there's reason for both sides to be mad at each other, but if you can stop doing the things that's making them mad, especially Israel, because Israel is the occupying force and they have a bunch of stuff, then things will change. And then this thing of hating on people because they see stuff that's wrong, that's illegal, and they're pointing it out, and they're trying to get their universities to stop funding these groups, to stop supporting these groups, and we're asking the United States to stop sending bombs to Israel so they can drop them on civilians, and stop acting like it's self-defense. I mean, if anything, I hate to say it, Hamas, technically they're the ones defending themselves, because you can't sit there and occupy someone and constantly kill them, and then every time they attack them, we must defend ourselves. Well, maybe if you stopped killing them in the first place and stealing their land, you wouldn't have to defend yourself. It's just like in the United States, where it's self-defense to go to another country and blow the crap out of them. And usually, okay, we had a few things where it was like, okay, we had Afghanistan, where supposedly we were going after Al-Qaeda, and so kind of understandable, but even there, when I was against that war, because our country was doing some atrocities there. They would do stuff. I remember there was something like they blew up this whole village, man, just to get like 2 or 3 terrorists, and it was like, what the hell? Dude, it ain't cool when anybody does that stuff. But most of the wars we're in, the United States, we're offensive. We're not defensive, but we call it the Department of Defense. You know, at one point, it used to be called the Department of War, until they decided to turn it to defense to play this double-speak crap, and it doesn't make sense. You don't defend yourself by going into another country and blowing them up. But here's the thing, and it's going to be hard, but I mean, we got Jews and Muslims and people, Christians and all kinds of people on the side of the Palestinians. They say you need to stop doing this, and then it's like we can't have a discussion, and we really can't have a discussion with the other side, the people that are pro-Israel. And I mean, there's probably some out there, but the people that are going out there and they're doing counter-protests, those people are full of hate, and they come in and start beating the crap out of everybody. Well, that's not cool. But I mean, and those are the people that you can't have a conversation with. They're the ones that no matter what you do, they're not going to change their minds. And when you're out there and you're out there and you see the guys with the Israeli flags, be careful. They're crazy. At least the ones I've seen, they're crazy, and they're mean to even Jewish people, and they'll scream at them and tell them how they're not Jews because they don't support Israel dropping bombs on babies and shit, and other innocent people that didn't do the crime, and the crimes that were committed on October 7th, which I'm kind of getting irritated of having to mention that every time, because less than 2,000 people killed, and they go over there and they've killed, they're gaining on 40,000 people killed, so that's almost 40, they're going to be close, and probably in a month or two, to killing 40 times the amount of people that were killed on that day. So why do I have to keep bringing that up? It was bad, but it doesn't justify what's going on. And you know, it's not like that was they just did it for no reason. It's not like it happened because they're bad Arabs and they just decided to kill you. No, this has been an ongoing thing, but it's always been, they're the bad guys. The people that are being occupied, who resort to doing terrible things to fight back, to resist, are the bad guys, and the people who are occupying them and have been killing them and taking their land are the good guys. Well, that doesn't make any sense. But you know, when it comes to war, nobody's the good guys. You got good, you got bad, and you got worse. It's not, nobody's good, and making the people who are occupying someone be the good guys, what does that tell people? What does that do to their brains? I think that they can like go basically, what's the word? I'm looking for the word. Basically, they can sit there and go into some country and take over the land and blow something up, and they're the good guys for doing it. And I don't know, man. And in this country, with the media constantly saying it's anti-Semitic, and having this definition that any criticism of Israel, no matter how bad the things are that they do to the Palestinian people, is anti-Semitism. Well, that's just stupid. And the whole point of that is to shut down the conversation. Let's have the conversation. If you can justify, if you can actually justify to me people that aren't stupid and aren't going to think aren't going to listen to your crap, that your excuses of why it's okay to drop bombs on people. Well, I don't. I mean, I'm not going to listen to that. But if you can back it up with more than just Hamas, Hamas, Hamas. There was Hamas and they were using human shells. I'm not that stupid. I know that's not what's going on. But if you can, but let's have that conversation. If you think you can justify that, have the conversation. No name calling. Obviously, if people get angry, then maybe you need to step back and have the conversation another time. But let's have that conversation. I mean, let's not. And there's been people that have lost friends over this. Well, let's not lose friends over this, because let's figure it out. Because I'm sure people on the pro-Israel side, I'm sure they're not all bad people. I mean, we see the rabid counter-protesters, but I'm pretty sure that all the people that support Israel aren't like that. I'm pretty sure, well, I know that people in Israel aren't all like that. Because yes, we're only seeing the people that are protesting because they just want, in Israel, because they just want their family members back, the hostages and the soldiers. But there are people that are not okay with what is going on, but they don't take to the streets, because when they do, their own government kills them. This is not about the Palestinian people and the Israeli people. I mean, it is about the Palestinian people because they're dying, but this isn't about the people of Israel. This is about their governments, and their government's always been right. But it is like these people that are in that government right now. I'm not just using this because I don't like them and they're fascist. They are fascist. This is fascism, and it's scary because there's fascism rising in Europe too. Dude, we don't. I thought we fought fascists. Why are we friends with fascists? And it's like, I mean, you got this Ben Gvir guy, I forget, Iraban Ben Gvir or something like that. That guy's a monster. he just, the things he says are just horrible. And he's like, the thing about the prisoners in these detainment camps where they just grab a bunch of Palestinians and put them in these camps, they're the same thing as a concentration camp. I mean, they said something about where the point is to concentrate the population in these prisons and stuff. That's literally, you're literally saying it's a concentration camp. And he's saying how they should shoot them and kill them, and how God is on their side, and they should just... The guy is horrible. And so is Netanyahu. And this thing of, oh, we got to go in there and cut the lawn or the grass or whatever, however they say it. That's that's called genocide. That is not cool. That is not legal, and that is not something that the United States should be supporting. I mean, I really don't think so. It's just like back when Saddam Hussein was on our side, we shouldn't have been supporting him. We shouldn't have given Saddam Hussein sarin gas to kill 1 million Iranians with. Well, that was bullshit. We shouldn't be, there's a lot of things we don't do. So, I mean, it's hard to think, we're supposed to think that we're the good guys, but there's this history going on of where we do horrible things in order for things that bring economic gain to our country, American interests, which is usually something that's about money. And it's not something, this is not how America should be, man. We shouldn't be supporting criminals, war criminals, and we do it all the time. It's not like this is the first time. It's not like Israel's the only people that we've supported that were evil. I mean, look at the freaking Shah in Iran. I mean, there's a reason why the people of Iran latched onto the religious fanatics, because the Shah was so bad that they just thought, okay, the psychotic, radical Islamic priests or whatever they are, the Ayatollahs, they should be better than this. Well, maybe a little bit, but it's just screwed things up. But this is the thing, man. Don't just support people just to support people. And look at, if you're saying that, you know, Chris, we should support Israel and Israel has the right to defend themselves. Well, then do me a favor. Go online, and there's a lot of stuff on X you can see, and look at the stuff, the footage that is coming in from Gaza and the stuff that's happening, and look at some independent news. The best independent news is Al Jazeera. The reason Israel doesn't allow Al Jazeera in their country anymore and is banning them is because they are the best damn news in the freaking world, man. Watch Al Jazeera English, and don't just do to them a lot of independent stuff. It'll give you a completely different view on things. And look at the stuff, look at the images, and look, it's horrible. And if you can look at that and still say you agree with them in that self-defense, then obviously I'm never going to get through to you. But if you have any doubts, it's out there, man. It's being live streamed. It's real. And Israel is not, they're letting a little bit of aid here and there to make it seem like they're letting aid in. But do you know why they keep telling people to go places and then bomb them and tell them to go somewhere else and bomb them? They're trying to wear them out. Because instead of, it makes no sense, go here, go here, go here, go here. They're trying to wear them out mentally, emotionally, physically. They come and they'll have, there's aid, some here, you can come get food in the north. Now all these millions of people got to try to go all the way up to the north to try to get food before it's gone. And you know, there's enough food, but a lot of it's been destroyed, and a lot of it's sitting in Israel has taken it off the trucks, and they're just sitting there letting it rot. There's been food going in, and they need to let it in. And I'm sorry, if we need to get, if freaking United Nations, whatever the people are, the soldiers that are for the United Nations, if they need to go in there and make sure the trucks get in there, then that's what needs to be done. Because if it's defended by soldiers, it'll be less likely for Israel to do their bullshit. It'll be less likely that these settlers are gonna go there and tell the trucks to go over there so they can destroy the food and destroy the medical supplies, because that just doesn't cut it. And something needs to be done. All of this talks about, okay, well, they're criminals and this and that. Okay, how is that stopping things? It's great that after 75 years, 70 whatever years, 80 years, you're actually acknowledging what's going on. But what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do to stop the slaughter? And it's what it is. It's a slaughter. And you're probably, Chris, when are you going to stop talking about this? I'm not going to stop talking about it. Not until it stops. And I don't want you to stop talking about it. Anybody who's out there, I want you to do whatever you can. Do the BDS boycotting shit. Do boycott. Freaking go out there and protest and keep going. Keep doing it. And things I'm going to try to do, I don't know, I'm trying to figure things out because, I mean, I live in Texas, so I don't think I've read some stuff, oh, well, call or write to your congressperson. Well, I don't think my congressperson gives a crap because it's Texas and they're right wing. Yes, I know that it's both sides that support it, but you're more likely to get through someone who's more liberal. And that could be wrong. I mean, I could still be brainwashed into thinking that the system still works, but I mean, they say something or that or write to a newspaper, but I don't see any of that really making change. I'm trying to figure it out. You know, if anybody's out there, you write me a little comment and give me some ideas, because I mean, I really can't go up there and protest because it's too hot. There's probably not even a protest near me. I've got some medical issues that keep me from protesting. So, like, I can't do that. And, like, I looked on a thing and it's either half of the brands to boycott never even heard of. And then it's like, some of them I'm not willing to give up. I know that's selfish of me, but some of them aren't. And so I don't know. I mean, the only way a boycott works is if you stop buying stuff you're constantly buying. Like, if there's a few things that I only buy every once in a while, well, what's the point? That's not really going to do anything. So I don't know. I want to get more involved, and I don't know. Maybe I should look up some groups. What's that thing I think it's called? Oh, the thing is an app where you can find people that get together in different groups. Maybe I'll try that or something. But I mean, I need some ideas because I really want to do something. But like, I'm doing this and I'm on Twitter, and you know, I'm not getting through to anyone. I don't have it. I have 14 followers here on YouTube. I've got a bunch of I got like 80 followers on X, and I had like the last 2 weeks I think I got like 10 more viewers, but I don't know. I don't think I'm getting through. I'm not getting out there, you know. And I'm trying to work on writing a book, but that's going to take years and years and years, and there might not be the thing of a book is that it's going to influence other people, but it might be too late. And I want to help now. I want to stop what's going on now, but I just feel helpless. I just feel like there's nothing I can do about it, and I want to do something. So I mean, if you guys got ideas, let me know. Give me some ideas of what I should do, what I can do to help, what other people can do to help. And if you like what you're seeing, or at least find it interesting, or you just want to sit there and yell at the screen because you think it's okay to drop bombs on innocent people, well, that's fine too. Then do that too. That'll just give me more views. I mean, I'm trying to get here. I'm trying to do this. Oh, and share too. Share. Because, you know, the more you share, the more other people are going to share. And I don't know. I'm just trying to figure something out. Right now, this is all I can do. All I can do is just talk about it, tweet about it, and all this stuff. And I really feel connected to this issue. I really feel bad about people, marginalized people who the world thinks is okay to kill and rob their land and all that stuff. I just hate it. And the main thing is, well, why this and why not other thing else? Well, because there's other genocides and stuff like that. Well, this is the only one I know of that our government is actually sending the bombs to drop on them. And you have, what was her name, Haley something? She's like some congresswoman or senator or something. She goes over there, she writes her name, signs her name on a bomb, and writes "finish them all." Well, that's wonderful. This is what we're paying our politicians to do? Like, wow. It's just, I mean, it's one thing saying, oh, okay, we're going to defend Israel and blah, 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 but to literally go over there and write on a bomb, finish them all. Wow. Finishing them all is what they're doing right now. They're killing innocent men, innocent women, little kids, babies. And then that's not all of it, not just the killing. I mean, some of the people that are end up being alive are worse off than they would be if they were dead. I mean, maybe not, but you got all these little kids that are amputees. There's so many people getting their arms and legs blown off and all this stuff. It's just, it's sad. It's really, really sad. And it just hits me. It's like an arrow in my heart, man. It's just so horrible. And it hurts me, man. It really hurts me. I just can't understand human beings treating other human beings so badly. What is wrong with the damn world? I guess I don't have anything else to say. That's all I have to say about that. Good old Forrest Gump. Okay, well, this has been another edition of Chris Speaks. Sorry, I'm choking up here a little bit. I'm your host, Chris Thompson, and I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. Thank you. Please subscribe and share. I'll see you guys later. Where's this damn cursor? I'm trying to quit. Here we go. Stop caption.